Right. Hey everyone. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. And I've just been working through a bunch of declassified imagery lately. And this morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? Instead of sitting here on my own doing it, just all of my lonesome, I thought I'd bring my friends along. Um, so I have a few things installed. We'll see if we get to them all. I don't want to be live here for like 6 hours, but we'll spend a few hours just going through and organizing some declassified images, which I will put up on my site. Actually, I should probably pull up my site and show you. For anyone not familiar, I run a site called SpaceFromSpace, and basically on there's a bunch of satellite imagery that you can view for free. So we have high resolution imagery from like current day spaceports and launch sites, all those kinds of things. Pretty much anything space related. But then I also have a declassified gallery where you can go through and look at old declassified spy satellite images. And the cool thing about these, let's say we choose this one, is you can go through and they're all georeferenced on top of a map, so you can interact with them. And hopefully my internet behaves while this loads. I don't know if it's going to be playing ball while I'm streaming. Here we go. And you can use transparency and just see how things have changed today, which is pretty cool. So in the past, you would have to download multi-gigabyte files, but now you can do it just by opening your browser and zooming around on a map, just like you would on Google Maps. And yeah, so I just want to run through this today, and we'll just have a chill stream. I don't really have super high expectations, but that's kind of just how I roll. I don't want to hold myself to too high of a standard. Let's just have fun. We can chat as we usually do. And yeah, I just figured we'd dig into it. The first thing I want to do is actually add this image that's on my screen to my website. I have it all georeferenced, so it's sitting on top of a map right now, which is great. So I just got to crop in a preview that you will see on the website and upload all the information to the site. And that's the first task for today. And the second task is actually going in and georeferencing at least one image, maybe two, depending on how long it takes. But yeah, I'm just going to dig in. And if you want to say hi, if you have any questions, anything at all, just let me know and we can have a chat like we usually do. We can talk about anything from this imagery that we're looking at, or we can talk about current spaceflight related activities, pretty much anything. I'm happy to just chat and have some company. If you do have some technical questions, I'm happy to do my best. I cannot guarantee that I will know every answer, but I will give it my best shot. That I will promise you. I will do my best. And I'm hoping the software is not freezing up on me. I recently ditched Adobe Photoshop just because I was sick of the pricing and they're adding all these features I don't need. And so I'm trying out Affinity Photo, which is pretty cool. I do have some other options, but I just want to give this one a shot because it does have some features that I do really like. But as of right now, it seems to be breaking up on me, which has not happened in the last few weeks that I've been using it. So of course, as soon as I start trying to do something important, it starts to break up. That's quite funny. If this goes on for like another minute or two, I will use an alternative because we don't want to be sat here waiting for this to churn away. And to be honest, I don't know why it's churning up. Sorry, not churning up. Choking up on this image. This is nothing compared to other things I've thrown at it. Maybe it just has some leftover stress from what I've previously done to it. But that's okay. If you've seen my streams before, you know that I run into technical issues all the time. And it's just kind of part of it. There was one stream where we were getting like 2 frames per second for some reason, and we had to figure that out live. But, you know, once again, I don't like to hold myself to too high of a standard. I'm not a fan of how slow this is going right now. So I'm going to boot up GIMP. I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with that software. It'll probably pop up on screen as it opens. because I do not want to be sat here churning through that. Oh, it's opened up on this screen. That's probably better, just so I can load that in. Oh man. Okay. Which one do we want? We want this file. How's this guy? Okay, it's a bit better now. What I will do is actually I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to see if I can trim the image and see if that helps. Okay, that's smoother. I'm still learning the little ins and outs of this this software. Sometimes it wants you to trim these large images, but it's good to have backups and triple backups. So what I like to do when I do the previews for my my images on my site, I like to try and align them the same way that the satellite was looking at it when it took the picture. And to do that, I usually try to find a tall building or a tall tower, which usually they're at launch pads. But I couldn't see too much of an angle here. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me. And you can see which way the buildings lean. It's like these towers. I recommend looking at it upside down right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. Just flip it 180. Yeah. And so we can see the direction these towers are standing. They're still a little bit angled, but what I'm going to do, I hope this makes sense. If this doesn't make sense, please let me know. We're going to rotate like that. And you can, I don't know if this is just me after looking at hundreds of these images and kind of getting a grasp for what's going on. But even though it's only a few pixels, you can see that we're looking at this from almost the orientation that the satellite would be. So you've got to think about it as if maybe you're on a plane and you're looking out the window. Obviously, the building is like, it almost looks like it's like leaning over the land behind it, if that makes sense. Maybe there's a term for that specific effect. I honestly don't know. But you just got to try and put yourself in the satellite's point of view. And we're just going to do something like that. I'm just going to keep it simple. And I'm going to hit export, and it's probably, yeah, we're going to convert that to a JPEG. And since it's going to be on my website, I don't want a huge image, so I'm going to get like 1250 pixels at 85% quality, just to reduce the file size a bit. And it's probably going to show you my folder, which I forgot about, but that's okay. There was nothing in there. And then I'm just going to name this Baikonur Tight. I don't know how to pronounce that other word, so I'm not going to do it. Cosmodrome, Kazakhstan. I know you can't see this, but I just don't want you to see my files. Then we're going to go KH9, Hexagon, Declassified Spy Satellite. Cool. And the date of this image was 1974/06/15. Cool. So we just created, will this open up? Here we go. So we just created this. And this is the preview image that will show. There you go. So it'll be like one of these images that loads in here. And as you click on it, there's a slightly bigger version, which of course you can then just pop open in here if you wanted to. But that's mostly just for search functionality. The real imagery is in here. So with that, I'm just going to close this. And what I didn't consider is when I add this to my website, I want to show you the process, but at the same time, I'm not sure if there's anything I shouldn't be showing you on this page, which is a little bit awkward, and I did not think this through. Oh, do I have a favorite image I've seen from a KH9? That's a really, really good question. Let me see. Let me show you my site. There are the ones that have. Actually, I know the answer, but just for the sake of this, there are the images that have the N1 Soviet N1 moon rocket on the launch pad, and I think there's. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I think there's about 10 of those, and they're all on my site. And You can zoom in here and you can see this white structure is the N1 moon rocket. Like 100 meters tall or whatever it was. It was a big rocket. And if you want to find those, you can just go to the search page and just type in N1. But honestly, I think my favorite one, it's also the one that is the homepage on my site, and it's just because it's so unique. It's a super high angle image that's taken by KH9, and you can see like the VAB is all distorted at Kennedy Space Center, and that's because the image was taken at such a high angle or low angle, depending on how you're looking at it. And that's why I have it here as the main landing image, just because it's such a unique perspective. And if I remember correctly, it's the only KH9 image that shows all of Kennedy Space Center. All the other ones, they're all cloudy. There was one that has just pad 39A clear, and then there's another one that has just 39B clear, but there's nothing with the rest of the Space Center. So this super unique image is not only unique because of the angle it's taken from, but also just from the fact that it's the only image that I know of the Kennedy Space Center. But there are so many to choose from. I've got about 180 images on my website, and there's something like millions of these images available, and I've just got to slowly work my way through them. I do hope that answers your question, Rocket Nerd. If it doesn't, I guess I'll have to pick a better favorite image. Baikonur. I feel like I can show you this page. I'm going to show you, and if someone yells at me that I shouldn't be showing you this, I mean, it's my website, so as long as there's no information on here, just don't judge me for how I format my website. That's all I really ask. Because to be honest with you, I have no clue what I'm doing. When I made this website, I'm not some techie website person. I was like, I need a website. People are like, you need a website, and I was like, okay, I'll try build one. And this is kind of what we got. Although I'm always tweaking it, always. So I'm just inputting all the values and whatnot. Baikonur, I'm just putting tags in, all that fun stuff. Is there anything else? There's not really much else on that. And then we get the embed code from Soar, which I can show you that. Let me just pop over here, and we'll just pop into there like that. So we come into here to Soar, where I've uploaded the georeferenced image. And what I do is I grab the embed code for that, and I put in the values that I want. Oh, I should do the H. And I want the Google Hybrid base map and all the options, so you guys can customize it when you're viewing it if you want to. And then we pop back into here, drop in the embed code, hit save. And then when I publish this page, it'll all show up. For sure. Yeah, cool. I'm glad I answered your question. Sometimes when I answer people's questions, I feel like I ramble and I don't actually answer it. So that's good to know. Yeah, the angle is crazy. There's a bunch of those from like all over the world, different locations, taken at that angle. I'm going to eventually get to those, but they're just a lot of work. So I'm just going to work through the list that I currently have, get those all done, and then I will dig in. Then some alt text, we'll just go high resolution, declassified, KH9 hexagon, spy satellite image of Baikonur Cosmodrome. From, what is the date on this? June 15, 1974. Something like that. I can always edit it later. That's everything. We can just go hit publish. And if I've done this correctly, there it is. It shows up. So this page, the declassified gallery, it does automatically sort by the most recent images I've added to the site, but you can change that here if you want to like the when they were taken. So we can pop into here, what we just added, and boom, there's the embedded map, which is pretty awesome. Thanks to my good friends at Soar for that. And I do link in here the original USGS page. So if for some reason you wanted the original files and information, it's all in here, which is pretty cool. I believe in having like open data and open information. I don't want to hog this information and pretend that I have some sort of secret sauce. Yeah, I want it to be open and everyone to enjoy it. If someone wants to reprocess the imagery better than I have, by all means, please do it. But with that, I think that's the website update I wanted. So let me just checklist that. Boom, that's good. Okay, so next we're going to go in and we're going to process an image. So I'm going to get rid of my browser there, and we're just going to close off that image. I already saved it, so that's all good. So I'm going to close that tab in my files. All right. So let's open this image just to show you what we're going to do. I can't remember if it's 1 or 2. If it's 2, we have to stitch them together. If it's only 1, that makes my life easier. It looks like it's only going to be 1. This image doesn't cover the whole of Baikonur Cosmodrome. This is just the eastern portion. But that's a good thing because that'll save us time. And the last launch pads are out here, which means we don't need to do any image merging and mosaicing, which is awesome. That's going to save us a lot of time. That's going to save me a lot of storage and headaches. That's awesome. So we're just going to crop out all of these edges because we don't need the... I don't know what the proper name is for the film edges, the black edges. But I just like to get rid of those. And we just have a nice clean image like this. So what year is this? This image is from 1979, April 25. So I don't know what was going on at that point, but actually you can see this was taken from quite an angle. There's a corner of a building there, and there's a wall. Looks like there may be something going in that building there. We will look into that later. I don't want to get too distracted, but what we're going to do is we're just going to georeference this. So I don't know if I explained this yet, and just for anyone who isn't familiar with exactly what my mission is, I just want to georeference and make as many of these images available to everyone as easily as possible. Just for the average person to go in and browse these like you would on Google Maps, right? That's kind of the goal. And not only are they just like cool images to look at, but they also provide like really important historical value. I know some researchers who are very interested in these images. And yeah, it's just cool to put these out there because I'm not aware of anyone who's doing it quite at this scale. If there is someone else, I don't mean to ignore their work. I just haven't stumbled across anything quite like this, which is why I wanted to do it. Because if I'm not going to do it, maybe no one's going to do it. Maybe no one else is crazy enough to spend so many hours doing this. Okay, so we just want to save this TIFF file in here. And we're just going to do that. And I'm just going to save that. Again, I know you can't see my files, but that's just so I don't accidentally show you like some important personal information. Who knows what's running through my files. So while that exports, what we're gonna do is wait, because there is nothing else to do. I don't want to. I could look at other images we could do after this, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Have some tea here. I love my tea. Not only do I enjoy it, it soothes my throat. I'm not used to talking this much. So sometimes I haven't been prepared for these streams, and I find myself, I'm like, oh, I need something to soothe my throat. But yeah. So we're just exporting this image, and then we'll jump into QGIS and we'll start the georeferencing process. It shouldn't be too bad because this isn't a huge image like some other ones I've had before. But as I noted before, it does look like this one was taken at quite a high angle, quite a high viewing angle. So it might be a little more complicated, but we'll see. Nothing I haven't done before. I hope. I say that, and I probably just jinxed myself. And yeah, but that's all fun. Okay, we're approaching the export. I have to get ready to change scenes because I don't want to do what I've done before, where I jump into QGIS and then you cannot see anything I'm doing. So cool, that's exported. Let's jump over and hopefully this works. Okay, cool, that worked. Nice. So we can. Oh, come on, don't freeze up on me. Don't freeze up on me. Don't you do this. Give me a second. I'm gonna close this. Oh, come on. All right. Let's just try and reopen. I cannot interact with my file explorer right now. Thanks, Windows. It's interesting. I have another way of. Maybe I could just do it through here. Let's see. And hey, there we go. Okay, let's double check. You can see this. Cool, you can see this. Awesome. Very nice. All right. So on this left screen, I have to go in and find Baikonur, which, yes, I know where it is, and it's very creepy. That's how you know I spent so much time on this. Too much time, some would say. So basically, if you're not familiar with the process of georeferencing, what we're going to do is we're going to tell the image on the right screen. Let me just double check I'm showing you on the. Okay, cool. You're seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. On the right screen, we're going to tell that image where it needs to sit on Google Maps or just a map. But Google is our reference here. We're going to tell it exactly where it needs to sit by placing all these little points. And basically that just lets it know, okay, this is where I belong. And then that's how you are able to view it like you can on my website, if that makes sense. I'm not very good at explaining these things, but hey, there's always time to improve, right? And yeah. So we're going to start with the easiest place is always roads. I tell other people, like corners, always start at your corners. And it depends on the location. For this example, I'm just going to start with these intersections down here. So let's just say this intersection comes out here and it meets this road. And we'll go about in the middle of the road where it aligns with that intersection. And that's also here. And we'll plop it just about there. And these initial points are just so we can get our bearings. I'll try to get one as close to each corner as possible. We'll go up to the top left. So all these, I'm not a geologist or anything like that, so I don't know what all these little, these like dry lake bed, salt flat things. I have no clue, to be honest with you. But they are great for georeferencing. Once I figure out where I am. Where are we? God. you just gotta, it's like all pattern recognition, right? And it can be a slow process, but once you figure out where you are, what I'm gonna do to make this easier is I'm gonna come down here and see this guy out here, right? That is the same as this guy in here. And let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug one in the center of this and in the center of this. And if these are not entirely accurate, I will adjust them later on. Again, I just want to try and just get my bearings. And then once we have like a rough outline around the edges, then it's so much easier. So those are there. We keep going up into there. And yeah, again, if you have any questions regarding what exactly I'm doing here, please feel free to ask. Okay, so we got that. So that is in there. Okay, cool. And so usually I'm just like sat here either in silence doing this, just kind of zoning out. Or sometimes I'll listen to music or a podcast or stream, whatever happens to be going on in my world at that time. I think that little spot is that guy there. Let's see if we can find another one closer to the corner. I'm gonna say that guy in there and that guy in there, like that. That's good enough. So that's our left side done for now. And you can see these points. So it's at a slightly different angle, but that's expected. Dwayne Day, that's a familiar name. How's it going, Dwayne? Yeah, mid 1980s. There's a little bit of construction showing the hangar, and I'm not familiar with all the complex names off the top of my head, but I know you can see the big hangar under construction, as well as, is it Site 250? I don't know if that was used for Bran. I apologize for my my lack of knowledge, but it's good to have you here. The proton pads, that's right. I forgot they used. For some reason, I always think they only used. It was Site 110, right, which is Complex J. There's so many little complexities about the history. I always forget the small little details. But that's why we have multiple people doing this, right? Because I don't think anyone could do it alone. That site is destroyed, so I can't really get too accurate with that one. So I'm going to go down into here, and we're just going to put a point in there and in here like that. Okay. It was adapted to include Baran. Cool. Yeah, and they had the yeah, that's where, because they had the hangar out there, right? Which is where I believe there's still two Baran. Is it okay to call them shuttles? I'm not sure on the terminology, but two Baran spacecraft. There's those ones out there, which unfortunately I believe they've been like graffitied, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, I've spent some time trying to get a good understanding of the history of activity at Baikonur, but there's so much. Um, there is so much. Okay, so this is good enough, I think, just to get us a good understanding of the image. And so I'm going to come up here and just hit these settings, which I won't go into detail on because it'll probably bore you all. But now I can hit this magical button here, and instead of having to zoom both maps individually, I can just zoom on one map, and they're all linked together now since it has a rough idea of where everything is. So this is a good time saver, and it's not entirely accurate just yet, but the more points that I place, the more accurate it will become. Shuttles, okay. I know someone who got annoyed when I called them shuttles because apparently that was only only this you could only call the space shuttle the American space shuttle a shuttle, but um, I shall continue calling it a shuttle, Buran shuttle. It is a real shame we never got to see it fly more. I believe there was only one flight, if my memory serves me correctly. It would have been very cool to see more. So we're just going to put some more points out here along the edges. Like that. It's close enough. Again, we can always go through and edit these if they cause an issue. And what do we got out here? Is that... I've lost myself now. Wow, this part of the landscape has changed quite a bit. Let's go over here. This is familiar. I know where this is. Yeah, I was reading some CIA paperwork the other day about all the launch sites, and it was so confusing. The one that stuck in my head is, yeah, the two is Complex A, like you mentioned, for Sputnik and Gagarin, and then the J, Complex J, which is the N1 pads. That stuck in my head, but all the rest, I'm still taking my time to learn and remember. Come on, maps, load for me. That's a very low resolution part right there. I'm gonna say that guy is that little spot in there. Yeah, it's a real shame we don't have more declassified imagery from the mid to late 80s. Which I believe at that point, I'm scared that I'm gonna get this wrong, but I believe it was mostly KH11s, and maybe was KH8 still running at that point? I can't remember how long that program ran for off the top of my head. G is very... There's a lot there, which I think that's the main reason I got confused. I may have just not seen the correct paperwork, but I didn't really understand where G started, where G ended, which is the main reason it confused me. Yeah, maybe at some point I should try and make a like a modern map of the CIA designations of those launch pads. In 1984. Okay. Yeah, I would love the KH8 imagery to be declassified, but if I remember correctly, I think some of the systems on that satellite are quite similar with what's still being used today, if I remember correctly. So maybe that might not happen for a while. That's right, it blew up. That's unfortunate. That's a real shame. Especially, yeah, being the last planned one. You know, what have we got? Yeah, I also want to get more imagery scanned from those early Baikonur days when everything was under construction. We do have quite a bit, but I just want more because there's so much that happened in such a short amount of time. So that is something on my list when I have more funds. 19 out of 20, not bad. Yeah, that's a shame. It would be nice if they would declassify it at even a lowered resolution, even if it was like 50 centimeter resolution or something. But yeah, I know I'm probably asking for too much by thinking about that, but I'm just gonna keep dreaming of that, just in case the day does come. I hope. Okay, so what do we got? We need some more on the left side here, especially where they were... I believe this is like a old missile pad or something or other out here. Maybe a silo. There's not much left of it these days, as you can see here. There was something here, but not anymore. We got some more silos out here. I find these little intersections to be really useful for georeferencing. Just plop a point in one of the corners and it's close enough. Yeah. What do we got? That's a good spot right there. That's a really good point, Dwayne. I will look into that. Add it to my list. What I might also do is I might pull some of those old CIA maps from the documents, and maybe I can georeference those, and then they can be overlaid on top of a map, an interactive map as well. Just because I think there's some really cool maps. That is a crazy. I'm gonna have to speak to a geologist about these places. That would be really cool if you can do that. Yeah, just send it to me via email or something. I would appreciate that a lot. All right. So we got this guy. I have had all these old maps on my radar for a while, but I've just been focused on imagery because there's so much of it. But yeah, having those maps is definitely a good reference to have, and like you say, just to help people understand the relationships between the launch sites and whatnot. Awesome. No rush on that. Whenever you have time. Okay, so that's the western side, as we're going to call it. What do we got up here? So this is a very tedious process, and sometimes it's why I debate whether or not I should stream this stuff, because it's just me zooming in and out of these old images, placing points. But you know, I figure even though it can be a little bit, I don't want to say it's boring, but it's repetitive. I still enjoy it, which is why I'm doing it. But I figured people who don't do this every day might be more interested in it. And I mean, we got 8 people here right now, so it can't be too boring. And plus, we can have cool chats at the same time. What do we got? That guy, it's a little bit more blended into the environment now, but that's close enough. We got this guy. It looks pretty obvious, and I see those points there. The one thing that I've noticed with this process is it shows how good the human brain is. And I'm not trying to brag about my brain. I just mean in general. How the human brain can see patterns and things. Because you might be looking at this and going, how do you find those exact spots? But I don't know, after doing it for a while, the brain just kind of picks up like, oh, this is where this should go. Sometimes I do make mistakes with this, and I'll pick the wrong location because there'll be something that looks similar. But it's all pattern recognition, which is cool. There is some software coming out actually that I've seen some people working on. It's powered by AI, and it automatically georeferences these images, which might save me a lot of time. And that might mean that we can get bulk uploads onto my site really, really quickly. So once that's out, I'll probably do a stream on that, and we can look at that process and get a lot of images done. Geez, some of this Google imagery is not very good, is it? It's quite low res, but I really wish I could afford to get updated high resolution imagery of the whole of Baikonur, but that's probably not going to happen unless I win a lottery or something like that. What we got? We got that. Oh, also, Dwayne, since you're here, I know on the forums you posted your articles that you did on the aircraft carriers. And that was really cool. I was super happy with how those came out. And yeah, I appreciate your work on that. It's very cool because that's something I wouldn't have looked into on my own. When I saw that thread on the forums, I was like, this could be an interesting thing to break up my normal workflow. And so that was really cool, getting to hunt down those aircraft carriers and whatnot. And there's still more on my list to do. Just right now, I'm neck deep in doing this imagery. Yeah, this is a funky feature over here. That guy lives in there. That's really cool to hear, and really, really nice. Yeah, and if there's ever anything else you want images of, please do let me know, whether it's space related or not. For a little while, I was looking into the Soviet and current Russian rocket engine test stands that they had. And I georeferenced a bunch of those images as well. I think they had some test stands out near, I can't remember the names of the places, and I'm not going to try and pronounce them. But yeah, there was some interesting history there, because I know there's a lot of CIA documents on those sites. I don't know how many of them are still being used today, but sometimes it's good to mix it up for now and then, instead of doing Baikonur images all day, which can drive me a little insane. It's nice to pop around the world and do other locations. Perfect. Thanks, Dwayne. I will check the email. Maybe I'll open the document on stream if you're happy with that. I'll just get this image done first. What we got? All right, these. What do we got? Let's put this guy up in here. And so once I do a few more around this bottom edge here, I'll put a few points in the middle, mostly on roads, and I believe there's still a few launch sites out there. And then once that is done, we will do a test run to see how good of a job I've done. And hopefully this works. I think there was one stream where we had a bit of a failure, but it happens. That has changed a lot. What are we looking at? There should be... That's difficult. Okay, there's some facilities down in here. I'm not quite sure what these are. One thing that's always quite sad to me is how a lot of the facilities at Baikonur are just left to rot. I'm not sure if any of them were purposely demolished or anything like that. I'm not quite sure on the history there, but there's just lots of buildings that have either crumbled or been demolished, and I don't know, it's sad to me. It's just, yeah, it would be very cool if everything was in the condition that it was back then. We could see what it all looks like. So this, I believe, this is Complex B, which is now pad... Oh, geez, I don't remember the number, but it's where they currently launch astronauts on Soyuz and Progress as well, I believe, which there is one launching... Is it Progress, or is there... It's Soyuz MS... something or other. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Um, but let's see. I think Progress launched already. A few points out here. Okay, cool. Progress did launch. That's with it's MS. Is it MS 26 or do I have 26 from New Shepard last night? My brain's telling me 26, but I'm not sure which mission that's coming from. Alrighty. Plot those there. All right, that should be enough. There we got. It was Progress 26. Okay. And then, yeah, Blue Origin New Shepard 26 last night is also what confused me. See, this place is all being just torn apart. That's really sad. There is a little bit in there, but I don't know if I trust that. You know what? I'm gonna take my chance, and I'm gonna say that is that. We'll put one in here because that's along the road. Which interesting. That can go in there like that and like that. There's another road in here. Sometimes I forget about all these roads that splinter off, and then after I process it, I realize they're not lined up. Okay, it is Soyuz MS-26. Jeez, man, there's missions falling right on top of each other. I still think Soyuz might be one of my favorite rockets. It just has this aesthetic that looks really, really cool. And it's probably one of the most unique rockets, at least in my opinion. But of course, all rockets, as long as they're used for how should I put this? Peaceful matters, used for peaceful missions, they're all good. We like good rockets, not bad rockets. Okay, cool. I might drop a few more just down in here, because since this is an image that was taken at quite a high viewing angle, I just want to make sure we can get as many points down as possible, just to make sure everything is accurate. Because if it was just a straight top-down image, it would be so much easier just to plot a few points in the corners and call it a day. But since it was taken at an angle, I just want to make sure we get everything as close as possible. And that way we don't need to come back and redo this. So it saves us all time. Time and sanity. Oh, that's not there anymore. That isn't there. There's a lot of astronaut launches coming up, actually. Soyuz, and then there's Polaris. I don't know how to say that word. I'm overthinking it. And then there's Crew 9. I think that's it. And then we'll see how Starliner goes on its return. Hopefully that'll go well. Poor Starliner. Oh, poor Starliner. I'm not sure what these squiggly tracks are for. I've noticed a few of them. I'm not sure if it was just someone joyriding, or if there was a purpose out there. Right. I think I might be happy with that. So we got 67 points. Wow. I didn't even realize. Let's just make sure I didn't miss anything. I do think I want to put one up here because there's like this these batteries up here. I think that's what they're called, surface to air missile batteries, right? I'm not a military guy, so please excuse me if I get that wrong. But we've got roads. There's not much down in there. That road links up to there. Okay, I think we're good to go. I'm gonna come up here, double check my settings. I don't want to compress it because that'd take forever. We're gonna hit play and we're gonna see what happens. As I do that, I'm gonna check my emails and we'll take a look at this document. Okay, good. You can't see my emails. All right, let me just download that and that and that. More. Dwayne, you sent through all the goodies. I appreciate that. All right. Let me make a little folder here so I can open all of these easily. Did I get all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I missed one. What did I miss? What did I miss? That one. It's 5. Oh, and another one. Here we go. Okay, great. Now, let me... Actually, yes. Okay. Now I will pull... Let me show this on my screen. Boom. Okay. I believe you can see that. I'm seeing it on my end. Let me just see if this pops up on the screen in front of me. Cool. All right. You can see this. Cool. Thanks, Dwayne. I appreciate that. We'll have a quick run through of all these documents while we wait for the image to process. It might take a little bit. Let's have a look. Blank page. What do we got? I'm not going to read everything because we'll be here forever. So TT is it Tyuratam? I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly, but it's something like that, right? And then complex J, and then SVC. I'm not entirely sure. Soviet something tower, and then SLX. I don't remember. Is it Soviet launcher X? Something like that. Okay, I wasn't sure on my pronunciation, but Tyuratam. Cool. Missile test sensor. Okay, that's good to know. Constructed during an 11-month period between. Okay, yeah, so there's all those designations, different designations for the N1. Okay, so that, I think I've seen this one before, but that's still really good. So that's your complex J. Okay, J2 and J1, that's the pads. So that's the N1 pads. And then that is, yeah, complex A, right? Which is now Gagarin start. And then complex B, which is where they're launching now. Is there more, or is that the only map? Oh, look at that. That's a cool illustration. That's really cool. Can I rotate this at all? What do we got? Is that rotate this document? There we go. Wow. Yeah, we could almost georeference some of these. That could be doable. I think it would be quite cool to have those done, and just so you could set them right on top of that uh, the pad. That tower. That tower was so tall, or still is, I should say. Um, I wish I could draw because I would like to do illustrations like this of satellite images, especially when I shared synthetic aperture radar images. Not everyone understands what they're looking at in those, so I would like to be able to draw and try and illustrate uh, what I'm seeing. And I've tried it before, but I cannot draw to save my life. Um, let's go to another document. Um, let's see what we got. Let's just scroll to illustrations. Uh, okay, so there's another map, and that one includes complex C. Um, oh, cool. So that does. The other one may have had this, but I just noticed it has the SAM sites, and that's cool that they have designations because I've seen those sites a lot, and I haven't really read into them much. Complex B. Impact point. We could probably locate that crater. Um, maybe that's the one I was looking at before, although I think there was another one down here. Um, unless it's the same one and just at the time. Hmm, November 1971. Actually, impact location. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull something up over here. Um, I'm gonna see if we can identify the image that is closest to this report. Uh, when was this report again? 11th of November? Okay, so the launch was 26th of June 1971. So we want as soon as possible after that, right? I believe so. I believe this is the uh yeah, Dwayne, correct me if oh yeah, so here we go. So it launched from complex J, which would be yes and one, and then it impacted over here. Um so we have 1972. What is going on here? Here we go. So 72. Um so I have that one. It's a very snowy image. Second, let me just and I'm gonna go and search for these coordinates on this image. And if we get what we want, we should have so what was it, 4601. 6012. Okay. Which is about there. And then 6330. I'm not seeing too much. Okay, so let me just pull this over. And those coordinates, this was from 1972, January 1972. And that should be about here. Um, and maybe I'm understanding this wrong, but maybe it was smaller impacts. It wasn't like one big impact. Um, maybe, yeah, I could be getting confused. Because there is the iconic big crater down here, but that might have been from a different flight. It's that crater, and you can see all the debris over here as well. And if you go to Google Maps now, it's still there. That's really cool. All right, let's keep going through these documents. Otherwise we're gonna be here forever. Um, okay, cool. Small illustrations of N1. Wow, that's right. 1969 one. Just dug up the pad. Um, yeah, a lot of this is redacted. Yeah, not shocked. That's a cool illustration, showing how it sits on the launch mount. Uh, wow. I always get enjoyment from seeing how much is still redacted. Um, nice illustration of the tower. It's my understanding with they were able to determine the uh, the size of the tower and the rocket by using stereo imaging on KH9, correct? Um, which is very clever considering they had the forward and aft cameras. I don't completely understand how that works. I haven't dug into anything that deep yet on image processing, but I believe it was done by stereo imaging. Another nice map of the pad. That is very cool. That's another one, by the way, which I would like to georeference. So I might have to spend some time digging through these. Uh, we got here. So I assume this is the upper portion of the rocket. Lunar ascent stage. Okay, yes, this is the very top part. Um, and this is the what I believe they call it nicknamed the grasshopper, right? Which is the transporter erector for the N1. Which that thing was huge, absolutely massive. Um, and I did recently process I think it was a KH9 image, maybe it was a KH4B Corona image. Um, and there was just the transporter erector vertical at the launch pad on its own. Um, I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head, so I won't try to pull it up now. Um, but that was really cool because I hadn't seen that before. Ooh, that's another nice one. I've never seen how the erector worked before, so that's interesting. That's so cool. What do we got? I got at least three more here. Uh, so this is the imagery report reveals large explosion. Wow. So that would have been the pad explosion in 1969. Yeah, large explosion. Wow. And that is an image. It's a shame. It's a shame we don't know exactly what image that is, unless I missed it further up in the document. Oh, here we go. So you know what mission it's from, which that makes sense. Whoopsie. Um, but I'm gonna assume they may have redacted the actual image, possibly. Um, I will have to dig through my archives and see if I do have an image that correlates to this rough time period. Um, and I don't know if I have it completed yet, but if not, we'll have to get more images scanned, which is something I want to do anyway. What do we got in this one? Transporter erector again. So there's another map. Um, more diagrams of the transporter erector. That's really cool. More breakdowns on that. That's the strong back. Um, it is a corona image of bike. Okay. So where was it? Yeah, from August 1 to August 11 up here. Um, you know what? Let me just take a quick look at my spreadsheet with all of my images in it. And we will see 1969. I do not have those right now. Actually, what is this? Um, no, I do not. I have an image that shows complex A and complex B, but not complex J. So that's one to add to the list. Yeah, I have 1107 -2, but just not the right frame, which is disappointing. Um, that's. I'm gonna write that down on my list right now. That's what the O2 stand. That's what the 2 stands for. The return bucket. Okay, I did not know that until now. Um, August 11. Wait, not 11. Sorry, mission 1107. 1107. Cool. I will dig into that later. Um, strong back. Look at that. This is something I've always liked about spaceflight is the ground infrastructure. Like rockets are cool. We all like rockets. We all like satellites, but I just find ground infrastructure very impressive. Um, and last but not least, we have a blue one. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I never connected those dots um, about what that number was for after the mission. Um, ooh, here's a map. Yeah, so I what I might do is I might try to recreate these in higher resolution, um, because this is a really cool map. J1, you got the B, C's, H, support areas, electronic facilities. Wow, communications facility. Yeah, that's really cool. And so these ones are still redacted. So I assume that's what that is. Unidentified facilities. And you got yeah, that's the G complex up to there. Wow, that's really cool. Um, words. Oh, we have an image here. G pads. Okay. Uh, mission. Okay, mission 1108. So that narrows it down a bit. Uh, I do have some images when they were initially constructing the J pads or the N1 pads. Um, and I think I may have processed those. If I haven't, they are on my list. Uh, yeah, because it would be cool to get all of these images shown in these documents properly displayed. Um, Facility 7. Where is that to? Trying to wrap my head around where this would be. North is that way. Oh man, we got the big map up here, don't we? Facility 7. Oh, there it was under. Wait, what was the letter? I didn't grab the letter. Which one was it? That one. Oh, that's sorry, different site, different location. My bad. Um, which would be up there. Okay. Um, cool. That's really really. Oh, and there's you sent me more reports. Look at that. Well, the image is still processing. We are at 62%, so we may as well just keep digging through these documents. Um, there's no harm in that. Otherwise, I'm just going to be trying to fill time. Let's see what we got. An engineering memo. Again, some more illustrations of the rocket. Um, looking at here, tankage construction. Oh, interesting. I know some nerdy rocket people who would love to know about how the tanks were made. The fact that they can also calculate the amount of propellant is incredible. Yeah, if you want to scan those, that would be really cool when you have time, of course. Yeah, we can always check them out on a future stream. Um, yeah, that would be. I'd like to do a dedicated stream just to going through these documents and taking the maps, georeferencing them. Maybe we can recreate them. Um, what am I trying to say here? Recreate some of the old maps on a stream. Um, in a higher resolution interactive format. Oh, a bunch of people. Yeah, we're talking about N1. Um, hey, Ringtone, how's it going? And yeah, I've noticed that before, Rocket Nerd. The USGS site does link to NSF as a source, which is really cool. Um, I think everyone here is a big fan of NASA spaceflight. Great people. Great people. Um, what do we got? I didn't even read this one. What do we got? Okay, so this is all about N1 as expected. Um, tandem tanks, segmented tanks. I'm not a rocket engineer, so a lot of this goes over my head, but I know a lot of people enjoy these things. That's a cool diagram, actually. I've always found the way the N1 sits on the pad to be interesting. I don't know if I don't know if it had hold downs. Like, did it have any hold down clamps, or was it just like sat there? Maybe it was sat on some pins or something like that. Um, Maybe that's in this document. I just don't want to sit here and read it all. There's the grasshopper again. Ooh, that is cool. I like this illustration. Wow, that is neat. I think we may have seen that one before. Construction activities, 2 lightning towers at each pad. Lots of redacted stuff. I think we've seen that one before. Seen that one. At the moment, I feel like one of those kids who picks up a book and they just look at the pictures. um, I haven't seen this before. Breakdown of the vehicle assembly and checkout building. And one had 4 main hold downs. Interesting. Okay. Rough RUFF. Okay. Top secret rough. Okay. So I assume that was the code word that they used. So they didn't go around saying spy satellite imagery or something like that. They could say rough, and just as a, yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. So this is a breakdown of the pad a little bit more. Pedestal something something support not observed, I think. So that's that. On node. Number 2 is 6 rectangular protrusions. Something aperture depth something. A little bit hard to read. Um, yeah. Ear pop. Interesting. Signals intelligence is like a whole other game to me. Um, I've heard some stories about. Is that one? Okay. I've heard some stories about signals intelligence, and it's. Where am I going? I'm going upside down. Sorry, guys. I'm getting lost in this PDF. Here we go. I think we may have seen something similar to this before. Yeah. Test flight miles. Oh, that's pretty cool. Milestones construction complete. Operational first launch attempt. Refurbishment complete. So it didn't take them that long to refurbish the pad. If it July to April, that's not bad. Considering they had that large of a rocket blow up on the pad and they refurbished. Oh, wait, sorry, 72. I read that as 70. Okay, never mind. That's quite a long time. That is quite a long time. Could be ear pop. Okay. Interesting. Oh, yeah, so like up here, this up here. Okay. That's fascinating. Yeah. And so they flew from J2 while J1 was damaged. That makes sense. Yeah, repairing a launch pad after that big of an explosion must have been quite the endeavor. Because it's one thing building a launch pad from scratch, but repairing it is, I imagine that's a whole other thing. I'm also not a construction expert, just to put that out there. Um, technical paperwork, a lot of redaction, um, approval copies. I saw the word illustrations. Maybe not this one. This is just a text report. That's okay. Imagery interpretation reports. Whoopsie. Says that map again. There was military opposition to the program. Interesting. Uh, Seen that one. A lot more redaction. Of course. Blank page. And I think this might be the last one. November 1968. Yeah, there was a few different names for Baikonur. There were several, I believe. Space solution, blah, 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 blah. Tire tam, yeah. The vehicle is 335 or 6 feet. Oh, I can't exactly read what that is. That is I think we've seen that one before. I cannot. August 9, 1968. Let's see. 68. I do not have that one. I'm just going to try to take a picture of that, just so I remember. And we will get this amazing image in proper quality, and so we can see exactly what's going on. Which cool. Let me just check you haven't sent me any more. I don't want to miss anything. No, okay. Thanks, Dwayne. I really appreciate that. Always appreciate your help and your insight. And what we would do is we're at 90%. We're almost there. That's good. That's what we want. I hope I've done a good job with this, and I hope it's going to show up well. So we probably got a few minutes until this is done. That's okay. Just trying to think. Is there anything we can talk about? Anything I can show you guys? Interesting. Oh, I know what I can show you. I haven't shown anyone this yet. Which one was it? This one. All right, so this is once it loads, an Umbra synthetic aperture radar image of the JPads. And I captured this last week because I just wanted a really nice image of these amazing launch complexes. Oh, this amazing launch complex, I should say. And after seeing it in so many optical images, I thought it'd be good to see it in radar. So what we will do is we'll rotate the image to, it's upside down, whoopsie, to an understandable viewing orientation. And you can see, so this was from the 26th. So depending on your time zone, 3 to 4 days ago. And yeah, you can see the towers up here. And then there's, I don't know what these are. Are these like lighting things? That goes into the pad upgrades they did for Buran, I think. Thanks, Dwayne. Thanks for stopping by. Making me, I haven't made lasagna in like 2 months. Now I want lasagna. Why do you do this to me? Ring. I believe there is a website, a CIA website. I don't have it off the top of my head. I think it's like the CIA reading room or something like that, and you can go through and search. Yeah, so these chunky tower things are lights, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I thought I would share this because it's relevant. You can actually see the flame trenches, if you want to call them that. They stick out here, here, and here. There's a lot going on, but I just think that's just a really neat shot. I'll have to get this up on my site. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and I might have to have a chat with some people and see if we can get more sites imaged. Yeah. What I'm gonna do just quickly is I'm just gonna check on something over here. Hey, Kanan, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. That's really cool. It's always nice to get more people in here and we'll just hang out in a chill stream. I'm not sure how long you've been here, but what we're doing is we are. Let me change my stream window. 2 screens. Cool. What we're doing right now is we're just waiting for this image on the right side of the screen to. Why am I down there? I should be up there. We're waiting for this image on the right side of the screen to process and georeference onto the map on the left side of the screen. It's a declassified KH9 satellite image, so a spy satellite image from 1979. I couldn't remember the year then. Oh, and it's just finished. Give it a second, and it'll pop in. I am still on Starlink, yes. I don't have any alternate options. It's doing pretty good. How is the stream quality, by the way? Is everything good, stable? I haven't checked in yet today. In fact, how long have we been streaming for? An hour and a half. Okay, that's pretty good. I might take a quick 5-minute break soon, but it's been good since you've been here. Nice. I honestly haven't even checked on the stream quality at all. So I'm glad to hear that. Had some technical issues before I started where some certain things weren't working and I rebooted. And so I was only able to run the stream for like 2 minutes before I went live just to check. So I'm glad to hear that. So as you can see, we now have the image overlaid on the map, which is really cool. What I'm going to do just quickly on a separate screen is just compress it a little, and that'll just make the image look nicer. Because I know it looks quite grainy right now, but that's just because there is so much information going on. All right, let's put this in here. And cool, we just had an auto save. That's what I like to see. We'll just dig into that. I'm going to close a few things over here. Cool. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please do feel free to ask. Sometimes I feel like I ramble on and I don't explain things as thoroughly as I would like. So please do feel free to ask questions, and I will answer them if I if I can. We're going to save this QGIS project as well while we're waiting on compression. So nothing too exciting, but it's just things that need to be done. Oh, I know what we can talk about. I have something else we can talk about. Let me get this guy and we'll pull this over on this screen and then come into OBS and we will go here. Okay, so we're just back on my website for a second. And if you guys are interested in seeing a declassified spy satellite image of a specific location, what you can do is you can come to this page, which let me just grab you a link to that. 1 second. And if you want to, you can come into here and you can request imagery via this Google form at the top of the page. And so you can just pop in there and let's hope it works. And you can just request an image location. So if you want to be like, I don't know, Paris. I don't know why Paris is the first thing that comes to my mind. But, and then you can add any extra details like, I don't know, make sure it's not cloudy, or specific dates, things like that. You can do that, which is pretty cool. And as long as there are images available, I am happy to do that. I do have a pretty long list of things I need to do, so I can't really guarantee a timeline at the moment. But I will do my best. And that way, it's just a bit of interactivity, I guess. Instead of me just randomly picking random locations around the world, including space spots, you can be like, oh, I want one of my hometown, which is blah, 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 or my nearby city. and I'll do my best. Sometimes there are locations that don't have images available, but there's not much I can do about that, to be honest with you. But yeah, thanks. That's really cool. Yeah, it's. I've probably rambled about this already like 2 or 3 times on the stream, but I love the idea of just having open data, right? So people can just view as much as they want. Um, yeah, yeah. The St. Louis image turned out pretty nice. I've seen that one floating about on the internet as an example of KH9 imagery. Um, I believe one of the main camera engineers used it in one of his presentations. His name is escaping me right now, and I'm quite ashamed of that because he was really, really, really amazing. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab that exact image and come into here, and let's change that to satellite. So you can see St. Louis in, what year is this? 1984, and then you can compare it to today, which is pretty cool. You can come down and see the arch, and see how you can see the stadium changed, which is interesting. And yeah, at the moment I am kind of just trying to what am I trying to say here? I'm just trying to do like a lot of the major cities in the US because that's good for like search engine optimization and all that, because I've seen that like the large amount of my audience on my website is from the US. So if I just do a lot of locations of the major cities, I can do that. Have you seen the video from Jared? Ring, sorry, who's Jared? Which Jared? Like, I think a Jared Isaacman, but for some reason that doesn't sound right to me in this context. About the arch. I don't know too much about the arch, to be honest with you. Okay, so my compression is done, and oh, I don't want to drag that to my website. I want to put that. To be honest with you, I've never heard of Jared Owen, but I will check it out. Let's see how this is. That's pretty close, considering I didn't put a point there. So, yeah, look at that. So now we have this image has been processed, so it sits on top of a map. And again, this is the key feature that allows users to view these images without having to download like 10 gigabytes of imagery data. Especially, like, I know there's a lot of people who like to quickly... Oh, that one's not so good, is it? That one's a little bit off. I think we just ignore that. Let's just check these sites up here because these are the main areas of interest. They look close enough to me. I don't want to reprocess it just for some bushes in the middle of nowhere, Kazakhstan. It's not bad. It's not bad. Sometimes I go a little overboard and I just fill the whole thing out with like 300 points. But I feel like that's kind of excessive. So I just try to focus on roads and like get the edges of the image close enough. Like you can see there's a little bit of wobble there, but to be honest, it's not a huge deal. Maybe one day I'll reprocess all of these with AI just to make it more exact. But I'm happy with this. This is up to my standards. The launch pads and the roads are in the right place, so I think that's the main thing here. Cool. So that's done. That is done. Now begins the fun parts of uploading it. So what we will do is I'm going to close all those PDFs. Close all tabs, and I'm having a brain moment. OBS, that's what I want. So we're going to jump over to here. So we're going to jump over to Soar, and we're going to upload the file that we just saved. So I'm going to grab my naming template because instead of me manually writing all this information, I just kind of copy and paste a template over and then just change the details like the dates, mission numbers, and things like that. And then once this is uploading, I will probably just take like a 2-3 minute break just to have a breathe, rest my face from talking, grab a snack, and that gives you guys a chance to grab a snack and whatnot too if you need to. 1979 Earth. Oh, whoopsie! 1979 Earth 4. I knew someone with the same name in, I think it was in high school, and I got their name wrong so many times, and I eventually learned how to say their name correctly. And I was just hoping that your name was pronounced the same way. So I'm very glad that I got that right, because I'll be honest, I have a lot of anxiety around name pronunciation. I'm always terrified of pronouncing someone's name incorrectly. Believe it or not, I've had people pronounce my name horribly wrong, and I know the pain when someone mispronounces your name. So I'm very, very happy to hear I got that right. Cool. So we have all this information, and I've moved my spreadsheet. What is this one? 790425. Nice. It's 33. Oh, Starship. Cool. What's the significance behind them moving it to the center stand ring? I'm honestly not familiar. I do not have the time to keep up with Starbase in the detail that I would like to at this point. I kind of just I see Chris's tweets and then the occasional scroll through Discord, but other than that, whoa, I just don't have time. I also watch NSF's Starbase updates and that while I'm working, but oh, it's the block 2. Okay, cool, nice. I'm looking forward to seeing that one completed. Bike knot, Tyuratam, something like that. Look at Kazakhstan. KH9, Hexagon, Satellite, and Declassified. We'll add Spy in there as well, in case anyone searches for Spy Satellite. Let's just check that's correct. Yeah, numbers are correct. Resolution. We'll get a link to my website, a link to the USGS. I think we are good to upload. Okay. Rocket Node, if you're okay with it, I'm gonna take like a 3-minute break, and when we come back, I will talk to you about that. Because there are some interesting points there. But yeah, my brain just needs to. I need to just have a few minutes just to take some breaths. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw you guys over to the Be Right Back screen. There'll be some cool satellite images, a bit of music, and if you're not familiar, we like to play a little bit of a game when I share the screen, and I just want to see. I'll be watching. Yeah, you know the guess game. Good. So you can guess the location of the image because it doesn't say the image name. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you over to the Be Right Back screen, and I want to see you guys guess the locations of these images. I'm sorry, my brain is fried. This is why I'm taking a break. I will see you guys in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out. Right, I'm back. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, the upload may have killed the stream a little bit. I'm sorry about that. I did not think about it, but I think we're stable now. I'm getting all green bars on my end. Um, we had a new Shepherd one. I didn't see that. I I wasn't right here the whole time. Uh, the one with both airports. Rocket Node, I may not have seen that one while I was here. Let me go take a look in that folder. I'll see. Was it what kind of image was it? Was it a radar image, a declassified image? Because I would like to find the answer for you, and I don't remember off the top of my head. YouTube, stream stuff. Here we go. With both airports. Color looks like high res. Okay. At the top of the image. Very green. I'm not sure what one that is. The 39A in color, very green. Very green. Populated city. Am I not seeing something here? Interesting. I might just be blind and skimming over it as I'm looking at all these images. I honestly don't see it. I could just be having a moment here and skipping over it. Yeah, Ring, if you want to send it to me, that would be pretty cool. I'm not sure if I showed images that I wasn't meant to show, but there's nothing in my folder that's jumping out at me. But again, I could just be having a moment. Oh, that one! Duh, I am sorry. Where even is that? I'm looking in the wrong folder. Sorry, I was looking in the old folder that I had set up. And I believe the new one is in here. Okay, that's my mistake. I'm sorry about that. I had an old folder where I had everything set up, but that drive was acting a little bit funny. So I moved everything over to the new drive, and I forgot to look in there. And since I added all the images into that one, I've added new images to it, which weren't in the old one. That's a whole thing. Can you tell it's been a while since I've done this? Yeah, let me pull that one up, and we can talk about that in detail because it's quite cool. OBS, boom. This one, right? I'm gonna wait to get a yes. Even though Ring sent it to me, I'm just gonna wait to get a yes. Yep, that one. Cool. That is San Jose and San Francisco. And we actually processed this image on a previous stream, not the last stream, but the one before that. So 2 streams ago. And believe it or not, this image was taken by a KH-9 spy satellite in 1979. And originally, this image was in infrared. And what we did is, in the stream where I processed this image, we flipped some of the image bands around and we made it go from, originally it looked like a very blue and, you know what, hold on, give me a second here. Give me a second. Originally it looked very blue and purple, and we, flipped some of the color bands around in the image and we made it look like this, which is pretty much true color. And yeah, I forgot I added that. Here we go. So here's a tweet that I made. This is what the image looked like before. And then, oh, and then I processed it, and then it kind of messes with your eyes because it's such a color change. But yeah, that was a stream that I did probably almost 2 months ago now. Um, and yeah, I thought that deserved a spot in the run of images that I have. So what was the other question that we had? It was something about synthetic aperture radar, if I remember correctly. Ba-bum-bum, ba-bum. US government. Ah, yes. Does the US government put any restrictions on where SAR can be used? Yes. Yes. To my knowledge, I'm not super familiar with this, but I'll give you the best answer I can with the knowledge that I have. Um, I believe there are synthetic aperture radar restrictions on Gaza and Israel. I think it might just be Gaza. I'm not 100% on that, but there's a restriction on that, and I believe there has been for a very long time. And then certain military bases in the US, there are restrictions. And also a lot of like radar antenna sites. So obviously you don't want to be beaming radar frequencies down on like a radio telescope or something like that. Say like DSN, right? You don't want to go and have your very powerful radio satellite beam this I don't know, what do you call it, a radio waves, right? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not, my terminology isn't the best. My Yeah, you don't want to go and beam radar on sensitive equipment. I don't know. That's the best answer I can honestly give you right now. But I know there are definitely restrictions, and we respect those restrictions. But I think that's pretty much it. There might be some restrictions around like Ukraine and stuff because they don't want anyone to accidentally give away, Ukrainian forces positions and things like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was a good answer. I feel like I fell off the tracks a little bit in the middle there, but yeah. Okay. I think my brain is fried. So we'll wrap this up by adding the image to my site, getting everything done. If you guys have any more questions, now is the time to ask. We'll probably keep going for another 20 minutes until the bottom of this hour, and we'll go from there, I reckon. So let me just reorganize some of my screens over here and get everything in the correct place. What do we got? Yeah, I don't really need that one open anyway. Get rid of that. That. Okay, I'm going to bring these two tabs over here. Okay, now I can show you guys, I think. By the way, right now, is the stream more stable? Because I know we had a Starlink hiccup, and then we had me uploading, which caused some hiccups. So I hope we're stable now. I don't think I have anything like syncing. No, I do not. Cool. So OBS should be the only thing that's using my uploads. What time is it for me right now? It is currently 12:10 p.m. So the middle of the day for me. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed your question. I saw it before, but I forgot. So when they sent up the KH9s, I don't know the exact timelines. I know the information is out there. It's a shame Dwayne's not here anymore because I'm sure he would be the guy to answer this. I shouldn't say he would be, but I think he might. If there's anyone, I feel like he might be the best person. I'll see if I can get you the answer for next time. But so what basically happened is they launched a satellite and it had For return. Oh, hi, Dwayne. You are here. The question is the amount of time in between each KH9 return capsule. We have those numbers roughly correctly. Correctly. Jeez, I'm sorry, my brain is fried, which is why I'm wrapping up the stream soon. I'm gonna take a second, just let my brain. Um, so the amount of time between like the capsules returning from KH9, it was like a few months in between each capsule, right? Um, oh, okay. See, I think your answer might be for between when the capsule is full and a week. Okay, okay. So, Kanan, basically, these are the parts of the satellites that I'm still learning because I definitely went headfirst into the imagery without learning about the satellites. So it's good to learn about the operations of how this works. And I've watched a few lectures, and I really need to read some books on that. It just comes down to time, really. So I do appreciate your knowledge here, Dwayne. Um, Kanan, just to answer your other question here, how often do I stream? It just depends on my schedule. I try to do like every 2 weeks, but lately it's been less than that. Um, so it's usually just whenever I have time. Um, but I would like to aim for every week or two. Try to keep some sort of a schedule, but I haven't been so good at that lately. We'll see. I try to put a tweet out, at least an hour or two before. Um, yeah. Um, Last mission lasted 270 days. Wow. And I believe there was at least one situation where they returned. I don't know if it was one bucket or if it was a few buckets, but they returned them early before they were full, right? Um, there was a conflict in was it in Egypt? There was a conflict and they wanted the imagery as soon as possible. And so they brought down the bucket when it was only like half full, or something like that. Um, I remember some sort of story like that. Oh, they were having problems with the satellite. Okay, interesting. Okay. Um, there are so many details here. This is really good. I feel like we're all learning right now. Um, okay, so it's better to bring down a partially full bucket and then better to do that than not bring down the film at all. That makes sense. Um, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this over here and I'm gonna share me filling out details because that's so exciting. That would be really good. It'd be great to have some sort of a graphic showing the return dates and the mission links and all of that. Um, what have we got over here? So, numbers, numbers, numbers. Numbers, numbers. Okay. We're just going to put in back in Cosmodrome. And that's going to be my URL, which is 1979/0425. I don't know if that's a good format, but it's okay. 0425, 1979. I did not know that. Real time camera. Wow. So was that low resolution Is that roughly the same as the mapping camera, which was, I think that was 20 to 30 feet? Or was it even lower resolution? I'm curious about that because I have not heard of that until now. It's fascinating, actually. Let me get a link to the USGS page, which is that one. And then we want Baikonur. I don't know the resolution, but it could see into the infrared. Okay. Wow. We got Kazakhstan. I want KH9 hexagon. We'll roll with that. We need the embed code. Let's get this. Give me a second while I just grab these details. And I will send a link to this once it's published as well. I did have a little personal goal to get 200 images, a total of 200 images on my site by the end of this month. But considering the last day of the month is tomorrow in my time zone, and I currently have 191 images, this would be 100 and... Wait, is this 191 or is this 192? I don't know when that number ticks up. I don't think I'm going to quite meet that goal, but that's okay. I just heard a door slam. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it scared the life out of me. Okay. It's just got very windy here. High resolution, declassified, KH9, hexagon, spy satellite image, Baikonur Cosmodrome. From what date was this again? April 25, 1979. That's good enough. Oh, and we need to make a preview image. Preview. This guy. Is it still open? No, it's not. Okay. Detect heat sources. Ah, okay. Yeah, Kanan. If you search like the KH9 hexagon, that's how you can learn more about this. There was also the Gambit satellites and the Corona satellites. There is a lot to take in, but it's a fascinating part of space history, especially now that a lot of things are being declassified on it. Camera was called S cubed. Does that stand for anything specific? I'm trying to think if that means anything, but nothing jumps to the top of my head. But it could just be because I'm multitasking. I really need to read Phil's book. That's at the top of my list of things to do. I've watched a lot of his talks and lectures, and I learned a lot through that. What am I doing here? And yeah, he was amazing at what he did. Lots of respect. I flipped the image the wrong way. We want to go that way. Stellar solid. Ah, okay. S cubed. That's smart. Now that you mention it, I think I may have heard of that name before. So what I've done now is I've rotated the image to match, well, not quite, but we're rotating this image to match the viewing angle that the satellite had while it was taking this picture. Let's go back in here. So now we can see these buildings. You can see looks like there's a door open on this one, possibly here. That's a great start. There's so many resources. Um, I think I have some. I might have that one. Have read that one. Sorry. Um, as well. But yeah, there's a lot of resources out there. Also, the threads on the NSF forum are great. I know Dwayne's familiar with those. There's the KH9 one, then there's the Gambit, and I think there's a Corona one. I wouldn't be shocked if there is. There's also great lots of resources in there. Um, ooh, Rocket Node. I'm not going to take on that question because I'm not entirely sure. I honestly haven't paid attention to current day spy satellites, mostly just because I don't have their images. Um, so maybe we can get them to hurry up and declassify the images, and then I'll pay some more attention. But um, I want to say there's like KH12 at this point. I don't know if 11 is still in use, but I think 12 is kind of like an upgraded 11. I'm gonna put a grain of salt on that. Please don't take my word, just in case what I'm thinking of off the top of my head is not correct. All right, let's get this image size to about 1250 pixels. And then we're going to save that. Have I got the correct year? Yes, I have. Let's put a file name for that. Red 10. Ended in the 1980s. Okay. KH9 hexagon. Declassified. Oh, I already put declassified spy satellite, and the date is 1979 Earthball 25. Cool. All right. That's not very exciting, but it's done. And now we can throw the images into the website. Yeah, I imagine specifically the image sensors have upgraded quite a lot. Knowing how much they've improved just in commercial electronics and cameras and whatnot. Yeah. Oops, I accidentally put China as a tag. That's not correct. There we go. We got date is correct. I don't know why I have a resolution thing here because there is no way to sort the resolution on my website. Maybe I can fix that. Backnode, blah, 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 blah. Cool. We're good. Let's publish this. Alrighty. And we'll jump over to declassified. And there it is. So now I throw this into chat. Don't mind me. And if you guys want to see the image that I processed on the stream, you can now do so. And you can zoom around if my internet wants to behave and load this. There we go. I say that's a successful stream. We've processed an image, we've added 2 images to the website, which is cool. What else have we done? We've learned lots about the history of KH9s and the N1 launch pads. Yeah, I feel like this has been a very productive stream. I'm very happy. I was going to have just a relaxed Friday today, but you know what? I'm glad we were productive. We got stuff done. We had good conversations. I learned a lot. I hope everyone else learned at least one thing. That's one of the goals of these streams. I want everyone to learn something, even if that everyone is just me. I have no problem with admitting that I don't know something, and like I just want to learn things. Yeah. Yeah, moving to digital was pretty big. Like you say, having that real time or near real time at least is better than having to wait weeks uh, or possibly months for your film to get back. Um, and of course, there was always that risk of you could lose the film out in the ocean. Um, I believe they only lost one, right? And it sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and they recovered it later on. And I think the film was unusable. Um, the first one I did today was it was just this one of again bike knot. I already had processed it into a georeferenced file a few days ago, but I just never added it to my website. So we just did that. Added it to the website first thing, and so you can check that one out as well. This one covers more of bike knot. Um, and then I just did the other one that I showed you, but uh, yeah. I wonder how much onboard storage the current spy satellites have. That's an interesting thought. Um, I really do hope that one day we can learn a lot more, but it might be a very very long time. I don't know how long, but um, but yeah, if you guys want to check out more of what I do, there's links I believe in the description of the stream. Let me check. Yes, there are links. And again, if you have any requests, you can submit location requests on here, or you can go to the contact page and email me, and we can work something out together. But just keep in mind, it does come down to my schedules and when I have time. I do have a long list of imagery I'm currently working through for myself and people that I'm working with. Um, but yeah, I think I might wrap this up. Um, I see a good conversation going on in the chat here. We had a Starlink switch. Hope it's more stable now. Wow, only a 5 to 7 kilometer for KH11. That's one of those trade-offs, right? Um, yeah, I'm not going to go into that because we'll be here another 20 minutes. My brain's going to be even more fried than it already is. I need to have some lunch and have a bit of a brain break, and I might play with some more imagery this afternoon, but I probably won't stream that. I think I'm done for today. Um, yeah, so thanks everyone for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Always good to have a chat, play around with some imagery with you all. Um, if there are any more questions, feel free to comment on the video below or something like that once it's published. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day, night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I hope we'll do this again soon. I think I should have some free time coming up next week and the week after. So maybe we can cram in a few more of these. And yeah, I think that's it. So instead of rambling like I usually do at the end, I'm going to push you to some cool satellite images and enjoy. Take care, everyone. Thanks.